All right, guys. Welcome. We got a new guest on. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
What's going on, guys? Um, well, let's just call myself Billy from now on. Yeah, what's going on, guys? I'm Billy.
That's it.
Yeah.
And what? How old were you when you went to the states, man?
When I went to the States, well, when I was taken to the States, I was
Yeah.
about 1 year old, 1 and 1 month, about there. Um, my parents paid a coyote. I crossed with legal paperwork through the border in a car, and they took me and pretended that I was their son with their passport, and that's how they got me across the border. While my parents, my mom and dad, they crossed the water, and they met us on the other side.
Okay. And where'd you grow up?
As far as I can remember, I grew up in New York, Queens,
Queens. All
and
right.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. And how old were you? How old were you when you got deported?
I didn't, I didn't get deported. Actually, I was 23 years old when I decided to leave voluntarily. I had been dealing with the system for fucking, you know, years. And so I was tired of it. It's a headache. It drives you crazy. It literally does. You know, it's caused me problems that I back then didn't realize were gonna come up later on, right? And it might sound like some. Go ahead.
Not to interrupt you, but so how did your family react when you told them about your decision about leaving voluntarily?
Well, you know, as any good parent, good family
Mhm.
member would do, look at the bright side. You know, look at the positive. What are the opportunities? Start
Okay.
researching and stuff like that. What else can they do? They they, they,
Yeah.
they can't tell me no. They can't tell me yes. You know, they left that country, and now I'm being forced, or I'm deciding to go back because of my decisions. It's
Okay.
it's kind of like a slap in the face. You know.
Yeah.
So how could they react to that? So yeah, they did their best. They stay positive. They talked me through, and of course, went through it.
Okay. Um, and so how did you feel when you got here? Like when you were on Mexican soil, did you have family here, or were you solo?
Okay, so um, to give you a better perspective of what I was going through when I got to Mexican soil, I want to first tell you how I felt before leaving U.S. soil. Um, the first time I've ever seen, probably a couple of times in my lifetime, my father cry. Right? I've
Okay.
seen, my sisters cry, my mother cry in a way I've never seen them cry. Right? And so, and it's weird because I didn't cry back then. You know, at the airport, I just, got my stuff. I said my goodbyes. I had to hold it down, bro. I can't be crying at the fucking airport, walking around and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, grabbed my shit, went to the States. I was kind of like blocking that shit off, walking through the airport, looking at everything, trying to like analyze, like, okay, what's going on? I'm looking for this. I'm kind of like trying to ignore it in a way. Just looking at my ticket. Okay, where do I need to go? Like kind of like a video game. You try to get to the next level.
Okay.
So I get to the airplane. My first time ever in an airplane that I ever remember. Probably ever in my life, right? Never been in an airplane. I never knew I was scared of airplanes until I got in an airplane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's cool. It was like I went to Houston, then I went back, then I went finally to Mexico City. So I had the privilege to have two experiences in one, two airplanes, liftoffs, and you know try always try and look the good things out of everything because I'd never been in an airplane. That's one thing as a kid. I heard my cousins, and my sisters go to Mexico and shit like that. I couldn't go because I ain't got papers. But
Okay.
so you know, I get to Mexico City. I I started looking for my luggage and shit like that. I'm trying to think back, like in detail. You know, I'm following the signs. I'm following the people. They we all going to like a ring, right? The luggage, like the classic airport ring or whatever. And my luggage comes. Lady checks my ticket. I show her my ticket. I'm good, clear. I walk out the front doors. I look around. It's just like it's like a road, and then on the other side it's like a highway. I'm in the entrance of the airport. I start walking to the right. There's a taxi station. It's like, hey, taxi over here. There was a guy with a taxi. I was like, nah, you probably gonna scam me. Fuck off. And then so there was like a booth that looked like inside the building. It just said taxi, and I was like, I fucking these niggas. So there was like, where you going? I took out my paper. I showed her the address. I was like, tengo que llegar aquí a este lugar. My Spanish all broken. Like what you just heard right now, it was like 10 times worse.
Mm.
You would be like, what the fuck? I've been here 4 years now, you know. So yeah, that's that. Um, they was like, okay, just here. They gave me a paper. They gave this paper to a guy. You walk to the right. You go down. You give it to a guy. He's in a SUV, a Tahoe. You give it to him, and he's gonna take you there and take your luggage. I was like, well, okay. I just walked maybe like, you're from a city. I say a quarter of a block. There's SUVs. There's like bootlegger taxis. There's fancy taxis. There's like SUVs, and there's like fancy SUVs. And so I I get in, and I'm showing these people the ticket. I'm like, hola, tengo un taxi que me tiene que llevar, and this and that. And he's like, oh no, no es aquí, joven, no sé. And I'm like, motherfuckers, right? And so I walk more towards. I see the SUVs, and I'm like, oh, okay. I see the really nice SUV, so I'm like, oh, it can't be that one. That motherfucker looked nice. It was like a Cadillac. And then I was like, the Tahoe next to it. I was like, hola, usted es el taxi que me puede llevar. Y lo ve y dice, ok, no, es este carro que está aquí al lado, él te va a llevar, ten joven. And I was like, well, bueno. I go into the Cadillac, yo, nice as shit. They give me a water, they give me a napkin. They even give me like a nice little napkin to like clean my hand and shit. I was like, okay. I was feeling nice, I didn't understand. At that moment, honestly, I didn't even know where I was at. It was yo, did I just get to Dubai? You know what I'm saying? It's like I paid like what? I paid like $10, and I'm getting an SUV like this to take me to the hotel. But back then, $10 to me was like just $10. Now to me, it's $10. You get what I'm saying?
So
So
wait.
you
So
know,
you paid $10 and they gave you a ticket to ride for an Escalade to take you to the hotel?
it wasn't that far away. It was right here in the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like 280 something, almost 300 pesos, something like that. Now,
Okay.
if you get an Uber from the south of the city, all the way south of the city, from the airport, it doesn't go more than 150. They got my
Mm.
ass, you know. So it's cool though. It was a nice experience. I didn't know, right? But either way, I get to my hotel, yo, and I put all my stuff down. I'm like, fuck. I agreed to the judge that I was gonna leave on this date voluntarily, and if I decide to, I need to present myself to the U.S. Embassy here in Mexico City and prove that I'm here and I complied with the rules and all that fucking mierda. You get what I'm saying? And so, excuse my language, but there's no easy way for me to express how I feel about a certain situation. If I just tell you, oh, well, this and this just happened. No, this fucking happened. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so, yeah. And so I remember being in the hotel and the fucking worst headache, bro. My phone stopped working out of nowhere. My phone just stopped working. It wouldn't. It had an iPhone 6 Plus. It wouldn't move. It wouldn't unlock. It wouldn't do nothing. I turned it off. Nothing. Literally at the worst time ever. So I remember I had a tablet. I remember looking up spots where they would fix phones, and I remember I took the taxi to this one spot in the middle of Mexico. I was somewhere. Now that I think about it, I was somewhere near like Deported, right? And because I was like 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, 10 minutes or less from the Angel, which the U.S. embassy is around there, and so I was very close to there. And so um, I remember I just ended up in some weird ass fucking place. I remember walking in seeing like iPhone and shit like that, look bootlegged as fuck. I'm like, yo, they definitely gonna take my camera. They definitely gonna fucking take my dick pics or whatever they do, right? Um, so I went in there and they were like, oh no, joven, va a tardar hasta. It was like I remember it was a Friday. I left on a Friday. It was a
Well, you know what
Friday,
they
and they
do,
said it
right?
wasn't gonna be. Yeah, they
When
said it
they
wasn't
take,
gonna be ready until Tuesday. I was like, man, fuck that. Get my.
but you know when you take American phones to those spots, you know what they do, right? They take the phone,
Fix that
especially
shit.
the iPhones. They take the motherfuckers and
Yep,
when they open them up, they swap out the parts.
yep.
So
They
next thing
fix
you
that
know, you're
bitch.
not getting back a whole iPhone. You're getting back a Frankenstein.
Hell yeah, you're getting a fucking clone. So now I took my shit back, and yo, the worst part is I grabbed a taxi. I was like, fuck, I need to get a taxi. I need to get back to the hotel. So I finally got a taxi. Like all of these people are just walking by, looking at me weird. I'm like, all right, cool. And so finally get a taxi, and I don't know the fucking address of the hotel. I didn't think the shit I had. I don't have a phone. My phone's not working. I don't have paper. I didn't write this shit down. I'm like, and he's like, ¿para dónde vamos, joven? And then I'm like in a taxi. I'm like relieved, and I'm like, where am I going? I'm like, fuck. I'm like, Don, no me va a creer, pero no recuerdo dónde está el hotel. And he just started laughing. It's like, bueno, ¿recuerdas dónde, cómo se ve, and this and that? And I was starting to explain him like streets around, like my broken Spanish, and this guy looked at me. He's like, "You're fucked," like, dude, And then I looked in my pockets. I started looking at my pockets because I needed to pay the man. I looked at my wallet, and then next to my wallet, I have a key, and to that key attached, it has it has like a fucking
DJ.
big plastic thing. It has the it has the address and the key number to it. And I was like, do you know where da 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 street is? It's like, oh yeah, it's right here. And I was like, can you take me there? It's like, yeah. It's like that's where it's at. It's right here. And bro, that shit fucking saved me. I was freaking the fuck out, bro. If I wouldn't have checked my pockets, if I would have been like just stranded out there, I don't know, bro. So I remember I gave him like 500 pesos. I didn't fucking know, bro. I didn't have change. I just saw like a bunch of 500 pesos. I was like, well, okay. I didn't know, you know. So like 500 pesos, like $20. So I was like, okay, $20. I guess it's good for like a taxi or something. That nigga was happy as fuck. He's like, you need to go anywhere else? you know. But
All right, so you're back at the hotel. Um, you're back at the hotel. Do you like you never answered it earlier. Um, like what was your plan? Like you're back at the hotel. Are you gonna look for any remaining family? Um, what was the plan?
um, honestly, my plan was to go to the city and do that U.S. Embassy thing first.
Uh-huh.
Takes what it takes. That's that was my main thing. And then afterwards, obviously, meet up with my grandma and grandpa
Okay.
and some aunts and uncles. But my main
And were they in the
priority at this
city too,
time,
or
honestly,
were they somewhere else?
huh?
Were they in the city too, or were they somewhere else?
Nah, I was in the city by myself.
Okay, but
Like
that's what I'm
basically, I
asking. Like,
didn't. Yeah. I was in the city by myself. I didn't tell nobody basically until I was there. My mom gave me my grandma's number, and I called my grandma, and I was like, "Hey, grandma, I'm in Mexico City. Can I come over and visit you for a couple of days?" And she was like, "What the fuck?" She's like, "Yeah, of course." And she's like, "Come right now." And she's like, "Oh no, I can't come right now because I gotta go to the U.S. embassy. I got a couple of things I gotta take care of. But I'll be seeing you in a couple of days. I just wanted to let you know ahead of time that I will be arriving." And she was like, "Yeah, that's no problem at all. Come over. Cool." So, yeah, that was a very interesting conversation because I don't remember much talking to my grandma except when I was a little kid. I never met
okay,
her. My sisters, they traveled to Mexico. My cousins, they traveled to Mexico. They all know her. I was actually the only grandchild that she hadn't met. That out of the oldest, you know,
uh-huh.
that because I couldn't go back. And the ones that were from Mexico, she grew up taking care of them or raising them also, so she already knew them. But I was basically the only one that they hadn't met, and it was cool. It was cool. I got to meet them. It was cool. You know,
Okay. So then,
very
so you
different,
make
but uh huh.
okay. So you make the plans. You're gonna go meet your peoples after you go to the embassy and shit. You go to the embassy. You handle that. Where do you go from there?
All right, so so the first hotel that I was in, I I booked it for like 2 days. I didn't have enough time, so I had to book it for a couple other days. And so you have a better understanding or better perspective where my mind was at during this time. I didn't leave the hotel room. I was isolated. I was like kind of like in shock, right? Because when it really hit me, and I forgot to mention this, was in the SUV on the ride there. The roads and everything completely different. The driving
Good.
style completely different. When I got into and checked into the hotel, completely different. And not nowhere, no time in my life I've ever gone anywhere where nobody understood me with what I was trying to say. You get what I'm saying? They understood me. Like after a couple of times, I repeated myself, but it was it was different. It was kind of like shocked. Like as soon as I got to the airport, you know, but so I I handled shit. I actually booked another hotel, and um, it was like a fucking sex hotel. It was over here in the city. I remember the first night I heard some motherfuckers fucking and shit. It was weird, but it was cheap, so I'm pretty sure I was in the ghetto again, you know. And again, not leaving anywhere, bro. Like I didn't know shit. Like where the fuck am I gonna go? My mom, my sisters would be like, just go walk around. I don't know, go eat somewhere. I'm like, y'all talking to me like I'm on vacation. Y'all talking to me like I'm not going through something right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool. I'm getting to meet
So during
my
this,
country and
like,
shit like that.
so during
Huh?
this, Had you already gone to the embassy?
Yeah. No. After I got the second one, yeah, it was like the first day that I got into the second one. That morning, I went to the embassy, and then I stayed that night. And then the next morning, I had got my stuff and left.
So like, like it doesn't kind of like I don't know, like maybe different perspectives or whatnot. But like, what was going through your mind? Like, so you
So
booked the
I was
second
blocking
hotel.
everything,
So you booked the second hotel for the whole week. I imagine.
basically. Yep.
And you're just chilling in the room, not going, being a hermit in the hotel, in the motel, because it's probably not even a hotel; it's a motel. You're hearing all these random people fuck, and you're just dealing with your shit just on your own, just
To be honest, bro.
shutting
To be
yourself off from
honest.
everything.
To be honest. Um. Now that I actually think back, I honestly like kick back like a 12 pack every night minimum. You know, just not really being there. I mean, my phone didn't work. The TV they gave me, they ain't got no fucking cartoons. I ain't got no weed. You know what I mean? They got fucking I don't know what the fuck they had.
Porn.
They had like some porn. Yeah, they had a lot of that shit. I ain't trying to fucking watch that shit. I was reading books, nigga. I never fucking read. I took a book. What the fuck? You know? I don't know, bro. It was
So
a lot. Honestly, it was.
so did you stay at sorry, did you stay at shut in the whole week, or like did something snap and you're like, nah, I gotta leave, I gotta do something.
Nah, I mean, eventually. Well, actually, I didn't even know because I did have the option to just stay in the city. I didn't have to go to my grandma's, right? But
Yeah.
I never met my grandma's. Now that I look back, I'm like, dude, if you would have stayed in the city, you would have probably progressed so much more faster than you did if you would have went back to like El Pueblo. You know what I mean? But then again, I never met my grandma. You get what I'm saying? I want to meet
Yeah.
my grandma. I want to know who they are. You know? And so, I don't regret it, but it has come up in my mind.
Okay, so you dip, you go out, you meet your at this point you already met your grandma, you met your family and whatnot. Um,
Yo, that shit
so
hit me
you're
like a
there in
ton
the
of bricks. Fucking
so
watching
you're
the
there in the you
chickens, the goats, and shit like that,
so you're
motherfucker.
there in the
You
pueblo.
know,
What are
mother.
you doing in the pueblo?
I didn't do shit. I was just kicking it. I was talking to my grandma. They said go piscar, go the fucking vegetables or corn, whatever the fuck they do. I ain't doing that shit. I mean, I went, but I ain't doing that shit. That shit hard, my nigga. That shit hard. So, look, so to give you guys a better perspective of where I was at in life myself, I was doing forex, doing a little trading, making a little money here, and so compared to the states, it was it was okay, and obviously my parents, my sisters helping me out,
Uh-huh.
and that's one of the things that I carry heavily with me. A whole bunch of motherfuckers claiming to be your partner, claiming to be your motherfucker, ride in, ride out, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? When shit goes to pop, not one phone call, not one text message, not no nothing. It's like a bunch of strangers until you or him hit you up, try to go drink, try to talk about some bullshit. I don't have many friends. You know what I mean? And I like
Yeah.
it that way. I keep it that way. I keep real ones around me, and the fake ones, that's some others. I ain't got no, I ain't got no fucking time for that, my nigga. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, he's antisocial. He needs to socialize. He needs to go out and just, no, it's never like that. I decided to be like this. If I want to have friends, I'm gonna go out and make friends. But
Okay, so you're
I just Go ahead.
So you're
I
in
just kind of.
the rancho.
Yeah,
You got fucking fucked up Spanish. You're meeting your family. You're antisocial. Um,
whole fucking mess, nigga. You put
yeah.
you
So
put
you're
some
like,
beers and tequila in there. Shh,
yeah. So
it's
you're
it's a nice little firecracker for you.
so there's a bunch of fucking negatives in there. Um,
It is, bro. But there's
how
no
do
way
you
to handle
progress?
it.
How do you so you were honestly it looks like you were obviously you're not there no more, but like you were digging yourself into like a really deep hole. How'd you get yourself out of there?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a deep hole. I would, um, in a way, almost say reconnecting with myself.
Okay.
Growing up, I never really knew where I was from. I never really knew what Mexican was from, or Mexico was. So, in a way, it was kind of something that I had to do. I kind of had to go and see for myself. Now that I fucked it up, that I, got into what I got into, that's my business. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. But I'm saying like what got you out?
Not wanting to be there, bro. To be honest, I seen I seen people just waste time, just living, just being there, and no disrespect to anybody, bro. No disrespect. I swear that on myself. Those people are the most hardworking, most fucking humbling fucking people that I couldn't do what they do because I'm a
Hmm.
fucking coward. I'm pretty sure old school head that gone through that. And I'm over here bitching about this. It's like my grandpa looked at me and was like, "Oh, you coming from the states? Okay, you gonna work? All right, Gramps. Yeah, I'll do this. I'll do that." He was like, "Take the goats up there and get them fed. Take them, motherfuckers eating and shit." I sit down there and check out Wama sipping and shit. He ain't know that, but shit. Porque going up the hill and where they took the goats to eat, there was like a little store. I went in there, I took my book bag, I took like 3, 4 kawamas. I would go with the goats, I let them loose, take my book back out, just chilling. I wish I would have had some weed. Fuck drinking. I love weed. You get what I'm saying? So what actually made it worse was that there were certain parties, certain holidays that were going around this time when I arrived. I left on October on 2000 fucking 20,
So
21.
you left the rancho?
No, I left the States.
Okay.
So it was October when I arrived in Mexico. October, November, December. Big party months.
Hmm.
Whole bunch of drinking. I was only at my grandma's for a month until I decided to move out and get my actual place. That was less than $100 a month, if you believe it or not. It had its own little bathroom. No kitchen, no bed, nothing. Just a bathroom, a living room, and like a wall, and then a space, which I made it into my bedroom. I was paying 1,500 pesos a month. That's about equivalent to what, $75, something like that. And
Okay.
so, I with the money that I had from the states, from working and shit like that, selling my shit, I bought my bed, I bought my stove, my little stove, my dishes. My mom blessed me with a table. You know, always pay due where it's due. My pops helped me out with eating money. My mom eating money. You know, I ain't never gonna go around and never say that I do it myself. So I could have never done it myself. Ain't nobody could have done this self. There's a lot of people that think it makes you weak. or makes you less of a person because you get help from somebody. Everybody needs some help. Everybody needs a little bit of help. If you don't need it, then more power to you, my G. More power to you, my queen. Keep grinding. You special. Never put nobody down because they got a little help. You know, and that's just how I feel.
Yeah. I think it just comes down to like there's people that feel, like see people as less when, those people receive help. Me personally, I think
Of
it's
course.
is I think me personally, I think it's one of those things that, like, not to lie about it. I mean, like, because there's people that, because I know there's people that will deny it. I mean, like, nobody helped me. I did this on my own. Like, nah, motherfucker, we know. You know what I mean, like, keep it 100. You know what I mean, like, and then like there's been a bunch of times, like, my people's, my mom's and everything, and my other family have looked out. You know what I mean, and have helped me. So I can never say that they never helped me. You know what I mean, like,
I
even
respect it.
some of my closest friends, um, have helped me out. You know what I mean, so I'm grateful. You know what I mean, that they would not only take the time to stay in touch, but in my time of need, have done something in order to help me. So I appreciate that. Um, but with that being said, and with you receiving, said help, um, and you moving out and starting to get that momentum of finding yourself. What else are you what else are you doing? What else are you getting involved in that's keeping you active, or are you just minding your
Um,
business and not doing shit, or what's going on?
well, the first actual, I think, not even month and a half that I was there, I got locked up for pissing in the fucking public drunk. Um,
Oh hell.
I was getting fucked up. I didn't want to deal with it. I was dwelling. I was dwelling in a way that I didn't know how to handle. I was going through changes that or feelings that I didn't know what they were, or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if somebody asks you like, oh, well, why you do that? And I'm like, I honestly don't fucking know. I was just going through it, you know. And so that wasn't my first altercation that I got locked up. There was actually a second one where I got locked up again in a smaller little like village that lives around there,
and it's the
Pueblo.
same thing because you were pissing outside.
Nah, I was actually about to fight. There was a guy threatening me. Well, they said something fucking smart. They started threatening me, and I said something smart. I didn't shut the fuck up. And the guy pulled out a machete, and I was really about to fight him. And he had a fucking machete until the guy's dad came and stopped him because he really wanted to hit me with the machete, and I wasn't backing down. I was like ready to fight this nigga. And so my aunt came and everybody. It was a whole fucking mess. The cops came. My aunt was like, "Can you please just take him? Like I'm making a civilian arrest, some shit like that." They took me, and so little more backstory of this. I fucking wasted, like stupid dumb wasted, and it was Halloween night, dude. Worst day of my fucking life. Well, one of the worst days. Uh, yeah, dude. Mexican jail. Don't ever want to be back there. U.S. jail
So I've heard.
is a walk in the park, bro. They give you clothes, a shower, and shit like that. Motherfucker, I was just in the floor. No blanket, no nothing. I was just in the floor. Literally, just on the floor. No toilet, no paper, nothing. Just on the floor. No water, nothing.
Okay,
I'm
so
not gonna lie. Uh-huh.
No, go ahead.
I would probably died if like my uncle would have come and gave me some water. I was dehydrated like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I was in there for like a day. Yo, it was
Okay,
intense,
so then at
honestly.
this point, so then at
Yeah.
this point, you moved out from your grandma's. You've been doing your thing. You're still heavily drinking. You already got in jail twice.
After coming to Mexico.
And then what? Where do you keep going down like a downhill, spiraling into some bullshit, or do you decide, or do you pick it up and start doing something?
You know, I've always been a gym rat. I've always worked out. I've always loved the gym. And so after that day, honestly, bro, I was like, dude, it's a whole year that you've been here. You just
You
bullshit.
ain't done shit.
You bullshit.
Yeah.
You fucking bullshit. And it was um it was a hard pill to swallow, you know. It it honestly was. I could have decided to just sit there, you know, continue dwelling or call it whatever the fuck I was doing, you know. But so, you know, I always been a gym junkie, and so I started looking up gyms. And I remember the first week, you know, boom, back at it. I'm a fucking, not gonna lie, you know, I'm a beast, you know. Not trying to get cocky or whatever. Take it how you want. Take it how you want it, but it's whatever. Um, and so, but then it was very weird because I would go to the gym, feel very good, and then look around, and then you know notice or like reality would like sit back in when I would like get back from the gym, lay down in my bed, like literally all you hear is like fucking paletero man and fucking people selling shit, and I'm just like laying in the bed and like fuck. I literally got nobody. Like yeah, I got my grandparents and shit like that, but I already made a fool of myself multiple times, drinking and shit like that. I don't want to bother them, you know. I don't want to stress them out anymore. In a way, I kind of felt like if I stepped away or if I stayed away, I'd be doing them a favor. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was always some bullshit, bro. It was always some fucking bullshit. Like now that I look back, it's like one of those things. It's like I was really down that bad, and only really I or somebody that went through something similar can understand because it's not something that you decide. Oh, I'm gonna wake up today and just fuck up my life up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm gonna just wake up today, drink a whole bottle of tequila, and expect for the best. Maybe I win the lottery. Ain't nobody fucking think like that.
So with
Somebody got uh huh.
and not to cut you off right there, but like so with you getting back into the gym, obviously the you're venting, you're relieving your stress, and you know you're trying to find
But
that
at the same
balance, right?
time, I'm trying to cope with it. Still
Yeah,
drink.
and you're trying to cope.
So there was
Obviously,
a couple of
obviously, when you're leaving the gym and you feel that emptiness again, and you're feeling down and shit, but like all this time, like, is that all you do? Is it just go home and then to the gym? Because you're not like really trying to like.
no, I was trading. I was trading forex. I was up at
Okay,
12:30 in
so
the
you're
morning.
but obviously you're doing
Okay,
this at home, right?
so I didn't make myself clear enough. Let me explain. I would wake up at 12:30 in the morning. I would trade forex. I would make about $50 a day, and I would trade from 12:30 in the afternoon all the way up to perhaps 5:30, 5 in the morning. I would shower, and then I would hit the gym at 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning, from 6 in the morning to about 7, 7:15, 7:30. The little tianguis, the little plaza that was there, would open up, start selling. I would go get me some cecina, some chicken breast, some whatever I needed, to get my nutrition in. And I would go home. I would get home like around 9, 10 a.m. And so I would sleep most of the day. It would be hot as fuck where I'm at. Not gonna say specifically where, but it was hot as fuck. One of the things I invested in was a fan, very very much needed. And so fuck man.
Yeah, I
I
get you.
remember a couple of incidents. I had gotten drunk as fuck, gone to the gym, and probably fucking I don't know, acted a fool. I honestly don't know. Probably blacked out because I would walk back to the gym, towards the gym, and some like people that would like drive the combis and stuff, like, oh, ¿cómo estás? This and that, and like talking to like telling me like, oh, you were drunk as fuck and you fucked up, and we know, and you probably don't know because you were drunk. Like some type Mexican shit would do. Some Mexican people would do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like echándote sombra and shit like that. You get what I'm, you know? And so it made me feel very uncomfortable because it was doing very, very often, and it was starting to get kind of aggressive, and it was starting to get pissed me off. I was getting fucking mad. I was like, yo, if you got something to say, then just fucking say it. You know what I'm saying? And so I found out this other gym that was closer to the house. So I went to that gym, and then I started working out, and then that's where I kind of stopped drinking. That's when I kind of like I needed a reset button. I'm like, okay, I drank, I fucked up, whatever with them motherfuckers or whatever they have against me, whatever. Don't give a shit. They weren't man enough to come to me and tell me man to man. So fuck you. And so and plus I always walk by there every day. Getting my groceries or get whatever. So it's not like I avoided them. You know. And so I went to the gym, and that's when everything started changing. I started benching 315 for five, 3 sets for five, easy reps. I was getting big. I was doing very 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 good, and I actually got a job that was paying 600 pesos a week, being a trainer at a gym at one of their gyms because there was only 3 gyms, and 2 gyms were of one owner, and I was working in one of them, and it was the farthest one from the house. So my furthest memory, New York, Queens. I was with my cousins. Well, my cousin, me and my cousin, always into some bullshit. I remember, I remember, like, do you remember back in like Univision? They used to play back like, um, Jesus Christ when he got like crucified and stuff like that. You remember that, like that movie?
Yeah.
They used to pass it in like Univision or Galavision, whatever. You remember that movie? So they were passing that movie one day, and me and my cousin were watching it. My whole family was watching it. And then the next day, my mom went to like the groceries or something, and me and my cousin were playing. And I was like, hey, remember the movie we was watching last night? And he's like, yeah, what about it? And he's like, I'm gonna crucify you. So I grabbed like the little shopping cart. I put it like on top of the couch, and then like I grabbed the belt and I tied him into the shopping cart. Well, multiple belts into the shopping cart, and I made him put his hands out, and we were like reenacting the movie, like me crucifying him. And my mom walked in, and she freaked the fuck out. She was like, "What are you guys doing? That's like some satanic shit." You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, I was just a kid. I was just fucking bullshit. A bad idea isn't really you don't understand how much of a bad idea is until you're doing that bad idea. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
And like it might seem like a good idea, but fuck, it's a fucking bad idea.
Okay. Um.
But
So
yeah,
with
so
that,
that's my nigga. That's my nigga who I grew up with him. Um and growing up in New York, comparison to Baltimore because we did move to Baltimore. Um York really didn't. You really didn't know like Mexicans or blacks or anything like that. The black kids spoke Spanish, as far as I remember, and they were called Dominicans. And then some weren't called Dominicans; they were just black, but they still spoke Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Because they grew up with us.
What about
You know.
but bro, like what the people here and like what really what we're trying to like focus on in here is your experience is like you know like getting adjusted and adjusting to being a deportee in Mexico, bro. Like your shit
My
from the
experience in
states,
Mexico.
like we all have that. We all have stories, like you know what I mean. Like we, and I mean not to like put your background and your stuff down, but like we all have similar backgrounds. You know what I mean? At one point or another, we all grew up in the states. So I get what you're trying to say. You know what I mean, but like what we're trying to share and put out there, like how you told me that when you listen to the different parts of the first episode, you felt comfort because you now you realize that you weren't the only one that went through it. You know what I mean, of course,
So as I
we
was
were
like,
forcefully.
so as I was saying, growing up in New York, I didn't know no colors, no black, no whatever. I grew up, and I grew up in New York. We moved to Baltimore, got in a fight with a whole bunch of black kids. Used to get jumped every day in the bathroom. Got to finally find out what black was, white was. Moved to the county, moved to the white city. Now the reason why I state that is here in Mexico, you're either dark skin or light skin, and not even that. You either dress well or you don't. They judge you based off how you look, not
Oh
even
yeah,
you know how you talk, how you look, and stuff like that. And so that was a huge even when I got to experience like the different culture from like going into whole Spanish like in New York into Baltimore, all black, shock, boom. Going into all black and then all white, boom, shock. And then you go all the way from the States going through all this bullshit, as a kid, try to commit suicide 3 times, and then go over here into Mexico, boom, shock. And then it's like, you know, I've worked construction since I was 16 years old. The worst people that will bring you down is your own fucking people,
yeah.
and that's no different here in Mexico, my nigga. It's no different here in Mexico. If it's bad in the states, it's the real shit over here. Best believe it's the real shit over here. And so that's why I mentioned that a different culture shock. It's like if a white person comes down from the states into Mexico, they're cool. They ain't gonna fuck with them. But if you look like me, you look like this nigga right here with a bunch of tattoos and shit. Oh, they gonna fuck with you. They gonna see where you from. They gonna see where you about. Why you got so many tattoos, shit like that. Why I got tattoos and shit like that, right? In the states, it's like it's whatever.
I think it's a I think you're that's your person your point of view because what from what I know or from what I've seen is like si baja un gringo de allá del norte, güey, para acá, they might not they might not try to like physically do something to him, but de que se lo quieren transear, se lo quieren transear.
Yeah, and that's what I
I
mean.
mean,
They gonna either take your money or take your things. That's it.
other than that, like,
Now, nah, but I mean, there's definitely situations easily that you get one of these motherfuckers in a bad mood. They gonna definitely gonna touch you. You know what I mean?
but yeah, but like, look, my my appearance has helped me out so fucking much, and it saved me from a lot of situations.
But
And
that's now you talking off your point of view. You know,
huh?
like what if somebody with like no tattoos and shit like that? What if somebody was like from the white county and shit? They like got a DUI, they had to like get deported.
Yeah, but I'm not. But I'm not talking about that. I'm like I'm giving you. I'm giving you like just my example, because from what you're saying, and you're saying like, oh, because they're gonna test me, bro. Like, you know, lo bueno es de que hasta ahorita nobody has wanted to test me to that degree. Like, I mean, I've gotten into little situations where it's been like a mutual thing where motherfuckers try to test the waters, and but like,
So you think that's what it is? Your appearance, your tattoos and shit like that.
yeah, cabrón, perro no come perro, güey. You know what I mean? Like a lot of
Yeah.
these
So
chaca niggas or a lot of
if you didn't have the tattoos, you think they would react the same way? Because obviously you would react the same way, right? So
if
you
I didn't
think they
have
would
them,
react the same way?
I think I think to like in my in my example, like as for me, I think the tattoos are a plus. Like you gotta remember, nigga, I'm 6'2", and I'm a big boy. You know what I mean?
How much you weigh?
Oh, right now, shit, I'm un poquito, couple kilos de más,
100?
but I'm a big nigga, bro. Obviously, right now I'm bigger than what I'm usually about, but like
Nah, you walk
I'm
down the
six
street,
two.
you look like fucking Big Bird.
But what I'm trying to say, nigga,
I
like,
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
but like my appearance, plus like how you carry yourself, motherfuckers identify that shit, man, nigga. You know what I mean?
Oh hell yeah. Yo, check this out.
So
So
like, so
going back to the Mexico shit. I was in the first interview, right? And I'm gonna skip whatever happened after the gym. My first day back here to the Mexico City. 2 years after, right? It was 2 years after I got to the States. I left where I was from with my grandma. Me and my grandma. I was living by myself. First day, I contacted a so said some organization. Let's call it that. I don't want to mention no names. I don't want to mention fucking shit. So I go to the spot, go to the interview. They send me to another building. I go to the building. I do the interview. I do the test. Everything perfect. Boom. You know, they said we'll contact you. And after I get out of the building, I walk out happy as fuck. New beginning. I'm already looking at gyms that are around the area, the Airbnb that I'm at. I'm going after it, right? I'm looking at my phone. I'm walking, trying to get a best area where I can stop to get the Uber. I stop and I find a nice little area next to a garage. I'm like, all right, this is like a shoulder place. There's like a bunch of cars coming through. You can stop here. Cool. And so a car just stopped. Unmarked car. Looks like a cop car, undercover cop. Three guys come out, right? Um, the driver had a pistol. The one in the back seat was with another fat lady, had a AK-47, and then the guy in the passenger seat had his gun out. And he was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Where are you from? What are you doing? Where are you from?" In Spanish. And I was like looking at my Uber, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Because I was waiting for my Uber. They went, they stopped, they reversed, and they all got out. And the fat lady was too like, "Where you from?" And like asking me all these questions, and at the same time, they're like touching my pockets, and I'm like, "Yo," like I tried to like take the lady's hands off my pockets, and then the guy with the AK, he grabbed my hand, and he was like, just shook his head, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "¿Por qué me están parando? ¿Qué hice o qué?" And then no, a ver. And then they took my phone, and they were like, "Unlock it," in Spanish. And I was like, I'm fucked. These aren't fucking cops. These are some fucking crooks. And at the same time, and this happened in like fucking seconds, bro. It's less than 3 minutes guaranteed. And so they they unlock my phone. They start looking through my phone. At the same time, they're looking through my wallet, my money, my IDs, my credit card, my bank card, everything. And they're like, "Where'd you get this from?" And I'm like, "Get what from?" It's like this ID. And it's like, "It's my ID. I got it from one of the government places." I don't know what the fuck they're called. You get what I'm saying? One of the email places. And so they're like, "Oh no, come on, let's go." And so they put me in the car. The guy with the AK got right behind me and like started like, potting me up. I'm like trying to like force it. He's like pushing me, and it's like, dude, like he's got an AK. I'm not gonna fight that. There's two other guys with a fucking pistol and a fat bitch with a fucking gun, right? And they all have like fucking little badges, whatever the fuck the fucking fake shit is. They put me in the fucking car. They start driving. Started asking me all these fucking questions, and from the text messages, they checked everything, pictures, contacts, everything, and they we were driving around the city for like well over an hour. I they kept asking me, "Where are you from? Why do you have this address? Where you get this in from? You're not from here. Why do you talk like that? What do you have in like just everything all at fucking once?" And they're like, "Nah, you fucking lying. You fucking lying." And she was getting me fucking heated. It's like, "Fucking nigga, this is my fucking country. I got my fucking passport for like what the fuck? I'm not accepted here. I'm not accepted." Like that shit really fucking hit me, right? And it was the first day like apparently free from everything that's happened that I haven't mentioned yet. And so I honestly, I was like, I gave up at then and there, and I was like, God, forgive me for everything I've done. Take the steering wheel. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And not shitting you, bro. Not 5 minutes later, they stopped the car, turned off my phone, gave me my phone back. They took all my money off my wallet. They gave me my ID, my bank card. They gave me everything back. And they let me go. In the worst fucking neighborhood ever. It's like in the border of El Estado de Mexico and Mexico, if you know what I'm
Yeah. How much? How much? How much efectivo did you have on you?
saying. And that's what I think saved me. I had about 1,900 that I was gonna go grocery shopping because I was gonna be there for about a month. I wanted to get everything, milk, groceries. I wanted to cook. I wanted to get all of that, bro. And it was like all the money I had, literally, you know. And
So you had a
I
thousand
literally only
pesos
had
on you or $1,000?
no 1,900 pesos. And then I
Oh,
had like
okay.
500 in my bank account. For like Uber and shit, which Uber is fucking cheap.
Okay.
And so, and you know, I had no job. It was like literally. And so, um,
Try to
yeah,
stay.
just let
Try
me
to
go,
stay a
dude.
little bit.
And
Try to stay a little bit closer to the mic, bro. You're going in and out.
is that better?
Yeah, way better. Thank you.
All right, my bad. So yeah, and
Okay,
so
so so
they
so they so so they drop you down. They drop you off in
I
shitty ass
kind of went
neighborhood.
ahead. So they kept asking me questions, stuff like that. And the guy with the so I was in the middle. The fat lady was to my left, and the guy with the AK was to my right. And then there was two passengers, the driver and the passenger, with the pistol in his hand, and the guy with the AK was to my right. And he was like literally had the pistol like the 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 hole right on my leg right here. So if anything, he could just like shoot my fucking leg. You know what I'm saying? And so I said, God, you know, just take the steering wheel. And then they were like talking amongst each other. I couldn't really hear because they were like whispering, really whispering, and they had turned the radio up. And so I don't know what it is that they were saying, but they said, okay, ¿qué vamos a hacer con este dinero? And I already knew what they were talking about. Like, what are we gonna do with this money? Like, the fuck you mean? What are we gonna do with my fucking money? And so I was like, quédenselo. You get what I'm saying? Like, I ain't fucking stupid. I was like, quédenselo. And he was like, ¿Quién te levantó? And I was like, nadie. And he took off the back of my phone. I had a Motorola. Took off the battery and gave me my phone and then my battery and then the cap. And then he said, get out. I got out and then they left. I started walking. I put the battery back in. I turned my phone on. I at that moment when I got out of the car, I hadn't felt fear. I hadn't felt that adrenaline. I was just going through it. I was dealing with it. Whatever was gonna happen, and I was gonna deal with it. I was locked in game mode. But something happened in me that it cost me. Call it trauma, call it whatever it is, anxiety. As soon as I got out of the car, I just started like shaking. I just started like sweating. I just felt very unsafe with everybody. I couldn't see anybody. I started walking. I put the battery in my phone. I was shaking, and there was like a little food stand of a señora that was there with her daughter, and I sat there, and they were like, ¿Estás bien, joven? ¿Con qué te podemos ayudar? And I was like, sí, me puede dar un vaso de agua. Y ella dice, sí, sí, por supuesto. And I was like, because my phone was about to die, and I was like, oiga, tiene un cargador porque they just apenas me acaban de levantar and they took all my money and I don't know where I'm at and I'm like I'm I'm freaking out basically, you know. And then she was like, "Oh my god!" And as soon as she was about to give me the water, she was like, "No, you can't drink water. Here, you need to eat a bolillo and this and that." I'm like, "What the fuck? I don't need
¿Para
to
qué se
hear
te
this
pasa el
shit. I
tiempo?
just yeah." So, like, but I was like shaking, and I don't know. I guess I looked crazy. I looked pale or something because the lady obviously saw that I wasn't okay, you know.
Yeah.
And so I ate half like the bolillo, and I was looking through my phone. I um I got the Uber and I asked for a smoke, a cigarette. I never smoked cigarettes, but I don't know. I just smoked a cigarette. I grabbed a cigarette and I started smoking it. And yeah, that was that. I get back to the Airbnb and I honestly don't even know what to do anymore. You know, the more I try to progress, the more I try to go farther in, the like I don't know. It's like it seems like what's the point? You know?
Your mic's going
But
off
yeah,
again.
but yeah, bro. So yeah, I think we should do part two, bro. Cut it over here. How much time we got?
We're an hour in, bro. An hour, 6 minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
Ready?
So
Try to do a part two?
yeah, we'll schedule it in, bro.
Oh yeah.
We'll
So
schedule it
guys,
in.
for anybody listening to this that wants to or is going through anything in life, if you're going through if you're going back to Mexico, whatever country you're going back, or you're just listening to this for whatever reason, if you get anything out of this, you know, your failures or your mistakes aren't just your failures and mistakes. Those are the greatest lessons that we need to be held accountable for. And unfortunately, for me, it took me a bit longer to realize that and acknowledge that. And I threw most of my life away. So if you guys are listening to this, perhaps, it's never too late. Don't ever think it's too late. Start holding yourself accountable and start making a change. Because you can make a change starting today. You just need to make one thing, and that's make a decision. That's all I got to say.
Well said. Well said. Well, guys, thank you for listening in. Again, we got Billy with us, and we're gonna get him in um, to continue his experience. Um, again, thank you, and have a good night.